Did you know the wrong haircut can quietly add 10 years to your look, without you realizing it? For women over 60, it's rarely the wrinkles or grey strands that make them appear older. It's the outdated shapes and harsh lines that no longer match the woman they've become. The truth is, your hair holds more power than any anti-aging cream, and one small change in cut or texture can lift your entire appearance, softening the years in the most natural way possible. Yet, most women keep the same haircut they had in their 40s, unaware that the style that once worked is now silently working against them. But here's the twist. Looking fresher after 60 doesn't mean chasing youth. It's about unlocking a shape that mirrors your vitality, confidence, and story. In this video, we're uncovering 5 chic, modern haircuts that stylists say can instantly brighten your face, lift your features, and make you feel radiant again. But before we dive in, if this already speaks to you, don't just hit that new hype button. It's YouTube's way of letting women over 60 shine. You can hype 3 videos a week, and every hype helps push this message so more women discover that beauty after 60 isn't about hiding age, it's about celebrating it. Now, let's uncover the first haircut that's changing how women redefine elegance after 60. Evelisse Monroe is 67, a retired architect from the glowing deserts of Santa Fe, a woman whose hands once sketched skylines and whose mind built spaces where art met purpose. Her life has always been about structure, elegance, and intention. But lately, her reflection feels like a stranger's draft, familiar lines, tired form, and no spark. Inside, Evelisse is anything but tired. She still hikes the red cliffs at dawn, teaches her granddaughter watercolor on lazy Saturdays, and plans road trips across the Southwest with her lifelong friends. Her laugh still turns heads in a quiet cafe, but when she looks in the mirror, the woman looking back doesn't match the one she feels inside. The issue isn't the years, it's that her appearance hasn't evolved with her spirit. For decades, Evelisse kept her hair cropped in the same sensible bob she wore to client meetings. It was neat, professional, and safe, the kind of cut meant to be invisible. Now, each time she catches her reflection, it reminds her of deadlines, long commutes, and versions of herself that no longer fit. She's retired, liberated, and more daring than ever, yet her hair still whispers restraint. That disconnect, between who she was and who she's become, lingers like static. Evelisse doesn't want to look young, she wants to look alive. Her granddaughter's offhand comment, "Grandma, you've got the coolest energy, but your hair still thinks it's 2004, lingers longer than expected. It's the gentle nudge she didn't know she needed. She realizes transformation isn't about vanity, it's alignment. Her hair has been an anchor to an outdated identity. And as she studies herself in the mirror one morning, she decides it's time for the outside to finally catch up with the woman inside. That decision, the quiet courage to evolve, is where her story begins. Each haircut she'll explore becomes a reflection of a different part of her spirit: freedom, curiosity, balance, and grace. Through Evelisse, we'll see how the right style doesn't erase your past, it amplifies your present. For her, beauty at 67 isn't about hiding age. It's about revealing the wisdom, warmth, and boldness that were always there, waiting beneath the surface. Haircut 1. The Liberation Cut. For most of her life, Evelisse Monroe's hair had been more about maintenance than meaning. A tidy, predictable bob that fit neatly within the image of a disciplined architect, professional, composed, and controlled. But after retirement, surrounded by desert light and quiet mornings, she began noticing how that same hairstyle no longer fit the woman she had become. It felt like she was still dressing for a life she no longer lived. The woman in the mirror looked polished, yes, but not present. She still carried the image of someone who had no time for herself. And one morning, standing before her reflection, Evelisse asked the question she'd avoided for years. When did I stop choosing myself? That moment became her turning point. At the salon, her stylist Maya, a silver-haired artist known for modernizing mature beauty, studied Evelisse's reflection carefully before saying, "You're ready for movement, not maintenance." Together, they designed what Maya called the Liberation Cut, a modern textured lob that skimmed the shoulders with feathered ends, soft layers, and a natural lift that framed her face instead of hiding it. As the first strands fell, Evelisse felt something shift. It wasn't just hair being cut away, it was decades of quiet compromise. Each snip was a whisper of permission. Permission to evolve, to stand out, to reflect the freedom she'd earned. When the chair finally spun toward the mirror, Evelisse gasped softly. The difference was subtle yet powerful. Her silver streaks caught the light like threads of satin, her jawline appeared sharper, and her entire face seemed alive again. But the real transformation wasn't visual, it was emotional. She didn't look younger, she looked aligned. This was the face of a woman who had stopped waiting for approval. That afternoon, she met her friends for lunch, and their reactions said it all. "You look different," one said, tilting her head. Evelisse smiled. "No," she replied gently, "I just finally look like myself." The truth settled over the table like sunlight. Beauty after 60 isn't about pretending to be 30, it's about reflecting your truth, your rhythm, your now. What makes the Liberation cut special isn't just its shape, it's what it symbolizes. The shoulder-length lob moves with grace and ease, softening features without demanding attention. It flatters every face shape, especially for women embracing silver tones, adding bounce and vitality without effort. It's timeless, confident, and adaptable, just like the women who wear it. For Evelisse, this haircut became a daily reminder that she no longer needed to play small. She'd spent years pouring herself into deadlines and others' expectations. Now, she was pouring back into herself. Each morning as she brushed her hair, she smiled, not to admire, but to acknowledge. This wasn't vanity. It was reclamation. Beauty at this stage of life isn't about holding on to the past. It's about meeting your reflection with honesty and pride. The Liberation cut isn't simply a hairstyle, it's a declaration that says, "I'm still evolving." Have you ever let go of old habits to feel more like yourself? Tell us in the comments, and if this resonates, hit that hype button. Every hype helps more women over 60 rediscover that change isn't about age, it's about liberation. Haircut 2, Revival Layers. Evelisse Monroe had always seen herself as a woman of order. Plans, lists, precise designs. But retirement began to rewrite that story. Her mornings no longer started with alarms or blueprints, but with sunlight spilling through her curtains and a growing sense of curiosity about the world around her. She'd recently joined a pottery class, taken a spontaneous weekend trip with her friend Celia, and even started learning salsa dancing, something her younger self would have laughed off as impractical. Somewhere between laughter-filled dance lessons and muddy hands at the pottery wheel, Evelisse began to rediscover something she hadn't felt in years: playfulness. And she wanted her hair to show it. She told Maya, her stylist, "I want something that moves, something that feels alive." Maya smiled knowingly and said, "Then we'll give you revival layers." This wasn't just a style, it was an awakening. The cut featured soft, feathered layers that cascaded effortlessly around her face, adding volume at the crown and gentle motion at the ends. It was light, textured, and beautifully imperfect, designed to move when she moved, to dance when she laughed. As the scissors glided through her silver strands, Evelisse could already feel the transformation, not because of how it looked, but because of how it felt. Every snip seemed to unlock a little more freedom. When she saw the final look, she didn't recognize herself immediately. There was energy in her reflection, lift, brightness, ease. The soft layering gave her hair dimension, creating the illusion of fullness without heaviness. "It's playful," she said, almost surprised. Maya nodded. "Exactly. You're not trying to look younger, you're letting your spirit show." The truth struck Evelisse like a quiet revelation. All those years of keeping her hair controlled and neat had mirrored her old life, structured and serious. But now, she had permission to be lighter, softer, more spontaneous. What's remarkable about revival layers is how perfectly it fits women over 60 who crave change without chaos. It's currently one of the most requested styles among mature women because it blends sophistication with effortlessly. The gentle layering lifts the face, frames the neckline gracefully, and gives silver or salt and pepper tones natural movement. It's ideal for anyone wanting a sense of motion without losing polish, a haircut that whispers confidence rather than shouting for attention. After leaving the salon, Evelisse found herself touching her hair more often, not out of vanity, but out of joy. It caught the breeze as she walked, it framed her face when she laughed, and for the first time in years, it felt alive. Her friends noticed the change, But what stood out wasn't the cut, it was her energy. "You look like you're having fun again," one said, and Evelisse smiled. "I am," she replied, and it started with letting go of being so serious about everything, including my hair. The revival layers became more than a haircut. It was her symbol of rediscovery. Each morning she styled it quickly, tousled and imperfect, just as life had become, and that was exactly the beauty of it. Women like Evelisse are proving that aging doesn't have to mean settling into stillness. Sometimes, the smallest layers bring back the biggest lift, inside and out. Have you ever done something simple that made you feel alive again? Tell us below, and if this moment resonates with your own revival, hit that hype button. Every hype helps this message reach more women who are ready to rediscover their lightness and joy after 60. Haircut 3. The Confidence Bob. By the time Evelisse Monroe considered the confidence bob, she had already experienced a quiet personal revolution. The liberation cut had reintroduced her to herself, and the revival layers had reminded her that life could be playful, spontaneous, and unplanned. Yet there was still one arena where she felt slightly invisible: social spaces. Family gatherings, art clubs, even small travel meetups with friends, all felt like stages where she wanted to show the woman she truly was, elegant, vibrant, and fully in command, but her hair wasn't sending the right message. She needed a style that matched her growing confidence, one that projected composure without rigidity, sophistication without pretension. Enter the angled confidence bob. When Evelisse sat in the salon chair and explained that she wanted something polished yet approachable, Maya's eyes lit up. "This is going to show the world who you are now," she said. The cut was precise, yet soft, a chin-length bob, slightly angled, with a gentle fringe that softened her forehead. Unlike styles aimed at younger women, this cut emphasized structure and elegance without feeling harsh. It framed her face in a way that highlighted her features naturally, while still allowing for movement and a hint of playfulness at the ends. Every section of hair seemed to tell a story, one of a woman stepping into her full presence, unapologetically. As the scissors worked, Evelisse realized how much she had underestimated the psychological impact of a haircut. Research shows that women over 60 who adopt a confident, structured style often report higher self-esteem, stronger social presence, and a sense of authority in both casual and professional environments. Evelisse could feel it instantly. With every fall of her angled layers, a subtle weight lifted from her shoulders. It wasn't about looking younger. It was about feeling seen, respected, and in control. When the mirror finally reflected the finished look, Evelisse was momentarily stunned. The bob accentuated her cheekbones and jawline, giving her face a renewed elegance. Her eyes sparkled more vividly, and the softness of the fringe balanced the bold structure, creating a perfect harmony between strength and grace. As she ran her fingers through it, she understood that this cut wasn't just about appearance, it was about presence. It allowed her to enter any room, whether a bustling art gallery or a family brunch, and feel that her outward expression matched the woman she had become. The confidence bob is trending among women over 60 on social media because it communicates sophistication effortlessly. Influencers and style icons have shown that a structured bob can be transformative, elevating not only style but also the wearer's aura of composure. Unlike cuts designed to chase trends, this one endures, serving as a timeless signature that complements natural aging rather than concealing it. It's a cut that signals authority, poise, and readiness to engage with life fully. After leaving the salon, Evelisse noticed subtle but immediate changes. Conversations felt lighter yet more impactful. Strangers treated her with a mixture of respect and curiosity. Friends complimented her on the cut, but the difference she felt was internal. The angled lines of the bob gave her posture a slight lift. The soft fringe softened her expressions, allowing her warmth to shine through. She felt anchored, like a ship finally tethered after years adrift. For Evelisse, the confidence bob became more than a haircut, it became a tool of empowerment. It was proof that style can be strategic and emotional simultaneously, shaping not just how others perceive you, but how you perceive yourself. Elegance at 60 isn't about concealment. It's about declaring quietly, confidently, that you are still here, still engaged, and still fully alive. Have you ever had a haircut that changed how you felt in a room? Share your story below, and if this resonates, hit that hype button. Every hype helps more women over 60 step confidently into spaces where their presence truly matters. Haircut 4. The Silver Illusion. For decades, women like Evelisse Monroe felt pressured to mask their grey hair, convinced that silver strands were a sign of fading relevance rather than a symbol of wisdom. She had spent years experimenting with dyes, toners, and cover-ups, always chasing a version of herself that didn't quite exist. But over time, Evelisse realized that the more she tried to hide her natural color, the more disconnected she felt from the woman in the mirror. Retirement, travel adventures, and late-night painting sessions had awakened a truth she could no longer ignore. Authenticity holds more beauty than any artificial hue. She wanted her hair to tell her story, not hide it. Enter the Silver Illusion, a luxurious approach to hair that celebrates natural grays while adding depth, shine, and vitality through silver-blended lowlight. Evelisse had heard whispers of salons specializing in this technique, a modern trend gaining momentum among women over 60 who refuse to fade quietly. These lowlight are carefully painted to enhance natural silver, creating a subtle interplay of light and dimension. They don't bleach or strip the hair of its character. Instead, they elevate it, giving the impression of luminosity, health, and sophistication. When Evelisse sat in the salon chair, Maya explained how the Silver Illusion could transform not just the color but the perception of her entire face. "This is about confidence," she said. "Not covering age, but embracing it and letting it shine." As strands were painted and processed, Evelisse felt anticipation tingling through her fingertips. Each movement of the brush was precise, intentional, almost ceremonial. She was participating in a ritual of self-acceptance, one that celebrated every grey strand as a marker of experience, resilience, and creativity. When the process was complete, Evelisse's reflection stunned her. The silver-blended lowlight gave her hair a glowing, multidimensional quality, with soft shadows that created depth and bounce. Her face seemed to radiate warmth, her skin brighter, her eyes more luminous. The Silver Illusion wasn't about pretending youth. It was about illuminating the woman she had become. She realized she had been underestimating how powerfully authenticity translates visually. Confidence rooted in truth shines brighter than any dye or trend ever could. Beyond aesthetics, this haircut reinforced Evelisse's identity. It mirrored the life she had lived. The late nights finishing architectural plans, the sunrises painting watercolor skies, the laughter shared with friends and family. Each silver streak told a story of challenges overcome, lessons learned, and joy reclaimed. For the first time, she looked in the mirror and saw alignment. The woman inside reflected faithfully on the outside. The Silver Illusion has become increasingly popular in luxury salons, a testament to the growing movement among women over 60 who refuse to compromise their authenticity. Social media trends show that embracing silver, rather than hiding it, conveys elegance, sophistication, and modernity simultaneously. It empowers seniors to redefine conventional beauty standards while enjoying effortless maintenance that suits an active lifestyle. This is more than a haircut, it is an emblem of self-respect and grace. After leaving the salon, Evelisse noticed subtle yet profound changes. Friends commented on her luminous hair, but the true shift was internal. She walked with quiet authority, feeling comfortable in every reflection. Her hair moved naturally, catching light, giving her presence a soft yet undeniable magnetism. She realized that embracing grey doesn't diminish vitality, it enhances it, highlighting experience, wisdom, and the kind of quiet confidence that turns heads without shouting. The Silver Illusion became a daily affirmation. Every brush, every glance in the mirror, reminded Evelisse that authenticity is timeless. Women over 60 are learning that letting silver shine doesn't age them, it empowers them. The right blend of lowlight and natural grey doesn't just enhance hair, it enhances life. Have you ever embraced a change that revealed your true self? Share your experience in the comments, and if this inspires you, hit that hype button. Every hype helps more women over 60 step into confidence rooted in authenticity and grace. Haircut 5. The Modern Shag. Evelisse Monroe had journeyed through transformation over the past few months, discovering freedom, playfulness, and authenticity through her hair. She had embraced choice with the Liberation cut, rediscovered joy with Revival layers, stepped into poise with the Confidence bob, and celebrated authenticity with the Silver Illusion. Yet there was one final evolution she felt calling her. A haircut that would reflect her boldness, her vitality, and her unwavering spirit. Evelisse wanted a style that wasn't just elegant or soft. She wanted one that embodied movement, personality, and life lived without apology. That haircut became the modern shag. When Evelisse arrived at Maya's salon, she was ready to take a leap. "I want something alive," she told Maya. "Something that feels like me." The modern shag answered that call perfectly. Soft, layered, and textured, it offered an effortless lift that framed her face dynamically, creating volume and bounce that responded to motion, not rigid styling. Each layer was deliberately cut to highlight her silver strands, adding depth and dimension while giving the hair playful, tactile energy. Unlike conventional cuts, the shag doesn't just sit on the head, it dances with the person wearing it, catching light with every gesture, every tilt of the chin, every laugh that spills freely. The trend is gaining traction among women over 60 because it combines sophistication with personality. Social media showcases stylish seniors embracing the shag for its ability to inject youthful energy without chasing youth. The cut signals freedom and resilience, conveying confidence and charisma without seeming forced. Stylists highlight that the shag is perfect for active lifestyles. It requires minimal maintenance while amplifying natural texture, and its layers make styling flexible and creative. For Evelisse, the modern shag was more than a haircut, it was a statement of who she had become, adventurous, unapologetically herself, and fully engaged with life. As Maya worked through the layers, Evelisse felt a surge of excitement she hadn't experienced in years. The soft, choppy ends fell around her shoulders like brushstrokes on a canvas, reflecting light and movement. Every section cut away felt like letting go of caution, expectation, and self-doubt. She could almost hear the laughter of past adventures, the thrill of impromptu trips, the quiet satisfaction of achieving what she once thought impossible. Her hair wasn't just reflecting her life, it was narrating it, energetic, bold, resilient, and playful. When she finally viewed the completed modern shag in the mirror, Evelisse was transformed. The layers gave her hair a lively frame, enhancing her silver highlights, while the soft fringe softened her expressions. She looked powerful yet approachable, sophisticated yet spirited. She no longer needed to apologize for her style or her presence. Every movement of her hair now reinforced her vitality and her courage. Friends, family, and even strangers commented on the energy she radiated. Though Evelisse knew the real shift wasn't external, it was internal. Her reflection now matched her experience, creativity, and zest for life. The modern shag embodies more than hair. It's an emblem of freedom. For women over 60, it demonstrates that style can evolve as boldly as their lives, that layers can signify liberation as much as aesthetic appeal, and that embracing texture, volume, and movement is a declaration of resilience. Evelisse shag allowed her to celebrate every adventure, every triumph, and every playful moment she still had ahead. It was a visual reminder that life does not slow down after 60. It simply asks for authenticity, courage, and joy in how you express yourself. Have you ever chosen a bold change that mirrored your inner vitality? Share your experience in the comments, and if Evelisse transformation inspires you, don't forget to hit that hype button. Every hype helps more women over 60 embrace freedom, confidence, and life-affirming style. Evelisse Monroe steps back from the salon chair, her gaze meeting her reflection with a mixture of curiosity and anticipation. For months, she had experimented with 5 distinctive haircuts, each one capturing a facet of her evolving self. Now, as she studies her reflection, something remarkable happens. Her posture straightens instinctively, her shoulders relax, and a genuine smile spreads across her face. The reflection in the mirror is no longer someone holding on to the past. It is the authentic Evelisse, fully present, fully alive, radiating confidence that no single cream or makeup product could ever achieve. Every layer, angle, and texture tells a story, and she can finally read it clearly. The haircut she embraced, the liberation cut, revival layers, confidence bob, silver illusion, and modern shag, aren't merely aesthetic choices. They are symbolic milestones in her personal journey. The liberation cut represents the courage to choose herself after decades of prioritizing others. Revival layers reflect the rediscovery of joy and playfulness she had tucked away in her retirement days. The confidence bob embodies her poise, elegance, and the ability to step into social spaces with grace and self-assurance. The silver illusion celebrates her wisdom, embracing her natural grey and life experience as a badge of authenticity. Finally, the modern shag captures her boldness, vitality, and willingness to embrace life's adventures without apology. Looking at her reflection, Evelisse realizes that hair is far more than strands of protein. It is a canvas for self-expression, a mirror of identity, and a declaration of presence. This transformation is not only visible, it is profoundly emotional. Each haircut resonates with a chapter of her life, a testament to the stages of growth, adaptation, and liberation that define women over 60. Psychologists and style experts note that personal grooming, including hair, is intrinsically tied to self-perception and confidence. For women like Evelisse, the right haircut doesn't just enhance features. It reinforces self-respect, affirms individuality, and communicates vitality to the world. It's an empowering form of storytelling, a non-verbal declaration that every year, every wrinkle, and every silver strand contributes to a rich, lived experience that deserves to be celebrated. As she brushes her hair and tilts her head, she considers the viewers watching this transformation. Which haircut would reflect your life story today? Becomes more than a question, it's an invitation to self-reflection. Are you ready to embrace liberation, playfulness, confidence, authenticity, or bold vitality in your own life? Haircuts after 60 are deeply personal. They mirror the journey of each individual, highlighting personality, experience, and self-expression rather than concealing age. Beauty is not lost with time, it evolves. Every strand, layer, and style is an opportunity to show the world who you are now, fully alive and fully confident. Before we close, remember this. Your hair is a statement, a reflection, and a celebration of life. If Evelisse's journey resonates with you, take action today. Hit that hype button to help more women over 60 discover the power of self-expression. Like, share, and subscribe to stay inspired. And don't miss the next video, where we reveal styling tips and trends that brighten mature skin tones and elevate personal style effortlessly. Because beauty after 60 isn't about fading, it's about growing into it, shining brighter, and living boldly with every chapter of your story.